All right. Other things to avoid. And after this, if you're done eating, will you drink anything? Antibiotics, that's the big thing. You take a course of antibiotics, they kill most everything in your system. They don't just kill whatever your doctor is trying to kill, but they will also pretty much sterilize your digestive system as well. And it's usually a standard recommendation that after a course of antibiotics, you take probiotics to try to rebuild the balance that's in your system. So the more antibiotics you take, the more you're going to have issues. And it also goes to things that you may eat that have antibiotics in them. People claim that chickens that we eat, beef that we eat, many of them are fed antibiotics in the feedlots. And the antibiotics get transferred to the food you eat, to the steak you eat, the chicken you eat, and you get low doses of antibiotics. Sorry, you can carry me. Okay. Sugar mentioned as well. Feeds are the things in your system that you don't really want to have. Splenda, I mentioned that chlorinated water is also toxic to beneficial bacteria in your system. Red meat as well. Red meat, it's interesting because red meat, what it does is it creates a situation that encourages hardening of the arteries in your system because it can lead to bacteria that are responsible for that. So it's something that's being looked at. And again, I'm showing you this stuff that, oh my goodness, I can't eat anything. I can't have a hamburger anymore or anything. But it's just something to think about. It's that some of these things that you eat, and you may eat too much of them, or maybe too big a part of your diet, you may want to look at it and say, maybe I should switch to some other things. Soy products, they have something in it called phytic acid. And phytic acid is not good because what it does is it ties up a lot of the nutrients in your system. So it's kind of interesting that I can put up here and what I've read from some people that say, you know, this is not good, this is not good. But then you can read other sources where they say you should eat these things and they're good for you. And so you've got to kind of look into it and make some decisions for yourself as well, because if you can get, for example, soy products that are, let's say, organically grown, you might be better off. If you can find meat that perhaps is organically grown, you might be better off. So these are things to just look at and think about. And eating them is obviously not going to destroy your life, but it's things that can cause a trend to develop in your system. So something to think about, something to look at. And then the interesting thing about all of this is that there is a connection between your brain and your gut. And it's called the gut-brain connection. Somebody even wrote a book about it. It's a second nervous system, actually what we call the second brain that you have in your system. And there's more nerves in that in your digestive system than are in your spinal column. And these nerves communicate with your brain. Like for example, you see a wild animal run towards you. You feel something in your stomach, right? You don't feel it in your head, you feel your gut is communicating this to you. It is releasing something into your system that's causing you to, I better run away from you. And so that can be a short-lived reaction to that. Or if you find that you have a lot of stress in your life. You have a lot of... Say you have a lot of stress in your life. You sometimes feel it in your stomach. You say, I feel like my stomach doesn't feel right. I'm under stress. And that's your gut is reacting to this, and it sends messages to the brain sends messages back to your gut. And so the healthier the gut you have, the less stress you have in your life, The better the connection will be in terms of happy things will be sent back and forth, rather than things that you're under stress, man, you better do something about this, you know, or it's getting like, I'm really nervous about this, or I'm worried about that. So the more you can learn to relax, the more you can learn to deal with things that bother you in a, let's say, a calmer way, redirection, better off they would be. So this is something that's been researched. A number of universities now are looking at this and they're saying, we can actually work with your digestive system to treat a number of disorders that you have. And the more that you improve what's going on in your gut, the better the signals are to your brain, the better the communication is, and the better you'll feel as a person. So it's more than just what we eat. There's a lot going on down there. And that second brain that we have wraps your entire digestive system. It's all outside of it. And so the bacteria, they say, can actually communicate with that nervous system through the hormones, the chemicals that they release. And it affects all kinds of things in your body. So your digestion is much more important than the first thought. So, we need to eat good foods. We need to find something we should eat. Prebiotic foods can help in all of this. And there are some of them. Maybe you don't like any of them. Hope you do. You like some of them. Asparagus. Asparagus is a very important prebiotic food. Bananas, prebiotic food. Garlic and onions. Yes, I love garlic. I was so glad when I found it. Jerusalem artichokes. Probably not familiar with a Jerusalem artichoke. I'll show you, I have some slides, I'll show you what all these things look like. But Jerusalem artichoke is a seasonal root that you can get, and it is loaded with probiotics. Leeks, kind of onion. Avocados. I love avocados, and I know Daytona loves avocados as well. So her and I, we get to eat avocados together. And then there's chicory root. And then the last one probably none of you know about, jicama root. Jicama root is from South America. And it has gained some measure of popularity, but it is a wonderful prebiotic food. So you go to your store, I need some prebiotic food. Jicama? What? You know, some stores don't even carry it. You tell them what it is. They don't know. You go, I buy it, I go to the checkout, and the checkout person looks at it, you know, what is this? Obviously, they don't give them a quiz on what's, you know, in the produce, like an ID quiz. So, how many people know what it is? But it's one that we have today. You can try, see if you like it. And it's one that's available in a number of stores. There are more than these, but remember, they have to have the correct fiber. They have to have inulin, fructose, they need to have those in there to be beneficial. So not every food that has fiber is as good as some of the other foods. You need to have the right soluble fibers in them. So the first one, asparagus. Asparagus, you see from a crown. You plant that and it produces the shoots. And it takes a number of years to get a really good asparagus patch going. Once it gets going, you get asparagus every spring. And you get a lot of asparagus. The asparagus, though, if you don't harvest it, will become this flowering, leafy mass up above. And so, asparagus, cut the shoots. I like to cut them when they're young. And actually, asparagus raw, to me, tastes better than when it's cooked. We have asparagus batch, you just go out there with a knife, cut it, and just chomp on that thing, and it's delicious. You like it cooked?
Yes, I like asparagus.
Okay.
I like asparagus.
Well, we have others for you. But that's asparagus. And when you plant asparagus, it takes a number of years to get a good patch going, and then it's pretty much self-sufficient. It'll just go on. As long as you don't over-harvest it. You know, leave some of it on there to grow for the year. Jerusalem artichoke. This is what we're talking about here, as this plant here. Not this, like you see in the stores. You see that, don't you? That's a flower of that particular plant. It is not even related to the Jerusalem artichoke. It's called a sunchoke. And so the sunchoke, they try to promote it in agriculture. Sounds better than Jerusalem artichoke. So sunchoke, Jerusalem artichoke, same name. So what this is, it's a type of sunflower. And it is actually quite invasive. Once you get it started, it grows almost everywhere.
Okay.
So the Jerusalem artichoke, as it grows here, you can harvest this. They're usually harvested in the spring. They're only available seasonally. And this is what you harvest. Not a pleasant looking thing. But someone along the way thought we should eat that. And someone ate it and said it was good. And then other people started eating it. And so it became part of what people eat. But Jerusalem artichoke is usually either raw or it's fried. This is not a sunflower. It has an entirely different botanical name. It does not have the soluble fibers you're looking for, and what you eat is that globe up there, which is actually the flower of the plant. So when you see those in the store, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for this one, which is a sunflower. And so you might see them in the spring, in the grocery stores. You might want to try them. I have never eaten one. I'm going to try one this spring and see. But I know I'll feel good because of all the soluble fiber I'll be getting in. Leeks, type of onion. And you don't eat the whole leek, generally. The green part at the top is usually reserved for soup. And then there's soup green, quite useful. But it tends to be a little bit on the chewy side, a little bit fibers. The part that you really like, you see where the white part goes up to where it starts to turn yellow? That's the part you want. You want the white part and maybe some of the yellow part. That's the part they heal that up actually when they grow it. Come through the ground soil up around it to keep the light from getting to it so it doesn't turn green. And that's why leeks, when you eat them, you always have to wash it because the center is always filled with dirt. But leeks are another plant, great, prebiotic. And then avocados. The avocado tree, the avocado is in the laurel family. And the significance of the laurel family is all the plants in that family are noted for the essential oils, beneficial oils they have. Like you think of bay leaves, you cook with a bay leaf. Bay leaf is a laurel plant, and it imparts a very nice flavor to stews and sauces and things like that. And you can grow bay trees and just harvest the leaves, and the oils in it are what give the food its flavor. And so in avocados, they accumulate a lot of beneficial oils, a lot of beneficial fats. They are incredibly healthful for you. They are useful in not only providing a great deal of soluble fiber, but they also provide a lot of great omega-3s, a lot of good oil that is good for your heart, good for your circulation. It's recommended oftentimes if you really want to get the benefit of avocados, you should eat 2 or 3 of them a week. So chicory root.